Hey everybody, I think we are live right now, so if you're in chat, please let me know if the music is okay, if the mic is working, if the camera and everything else is good. I think I have chat working this time so I can actually see what I'm doing, unlike the last time everything was a little bit messed up. So, what we're going to be talking about this time is how to take a published adventure and make it your own. Why that is really important is, well, a lot of people actually ask me about this topic, right? That I get asked this all the time about how to take an adventure that's already published and turn it into custom content. And, well, I'm trying to figure out why people are asking me. And I think a big feature of why people might be asking me that is because a big part of this channel's brand is irony. The tips that I give in these videos are often in contrast to what you'd expect from in terms of common D&D advice. So I'm just going to come right out and say it. When folks ask about how to make an adventure their own, one of the most common pieces of advice is just take what you like and put it in your game. And I think that's pretty bad advice. Not because it's not a good idea, but because it's so vague, it's kind of meaningless. So what we're going to do here is instead of just saying what to do, I'm going to try to show you how I do it. And a lot of DMs, I admit, instinctively kind of know how to get how to incorporate published material right into their games. And that's great. That's what I do. And so, because I do it so instinctively, I actually kind of had to think about a way to describe this. And so I'm going to go ahead and argue that by having a defined framework, a structure of how to think about incorporating homebrew and published material, if you have a good structure and a framework, you can better analyze what you're doing and think critically about it and improve it. So that's my big argument right up front, that it's good to think, even though if you know how to do it instinctively, it's good to try to think about what you're doing and think about a way to frame it so you can better analyze what's going on. Whew. All right, let's check chat real fast. Make sure that everything is going. So it's really weird that in my in the YouTube pop-up, it doesn't show chat live, so I have to have a separate window up talking to everybody. So hi there, Padaddy. Draw the rest of the owl. Awesome. Okay, cool. So real fast, I'm going to give you a brief theoretical overview of what I'm trying to do, and then we're going to talk. I'm going to give you some examples by going through Descent into Avernus. I have a digital copy too, but I want to show you guys I have the hardback. Okay. So I ran a poll on Twitter and to figure out what's the breakdown of DMs, right? What percent run 100% homebrew? What percent run 100% just by the book? And then what percent do a mixture of in between? And what's interesting is this in between bit, right? Because there's two ways you can do it. You can either run a published adventure and drop in bits of your own homebrew, or you can run a homebrew adventure and drop in bits of published material. And this method I'm going to show you works with either one. By the way, 3/4 of DMs do this latter. They take a mix of strictly published and strictly homebrew. So the game I'm playing in right now, I'm playing in Saltmarsh, right? This is my friend's running the campaign, and it's set in his world, but there's a lot of homebrew content in it. It's the Saltmarsh book. We're running the Saltmarsh adventure, but it's set in his world. It has some of his factions and has some of his NPCs. But at the end of the day, that book, the Ghost of Saltmarsh, is at the table every single session. We're really committed to playing that particular adventure. And what I do is usually the opposite. My adventure is homebrew, and I just drop in bits of published material so I can cherry pick bits that I really like and put it in. So now that little intro's out of the way, here's the big idea. Here's the thesis statement. And let me get up the little diagram here. So what you really want to do to make an adventure your own is you want to break your campaign down into 3 levels, right? You want to have a strategic level, an operational level, and a tactical level. And in those 3 levels, you want to think about 3 different adventure elements. You want to think about the people, the places, and the goals. And so the big idea here is you mix and match those 3 elements on the 3 different levels. So you can have like a tactical goal from a published adventure mixed in with an operational goal from your homebrew adventure. If you have, sorry, just got a little frog in my throat there. A published small dungeon, like a tactical level, contains the MacGuffin for the homebrew operational level objective. And if you have the published strategic level villain, like Zerial here, is threatening a homebrew village that is the PC's home, right? So Zerial is no longer just threatening some random town. It's threatening the town that you homebrew because it's where your PC is like the lord of. Okay. Is that all, did I explain that clearly enough? I hope so. Let me check on chat again real fast. Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Icarus. I know it's way in other side of the different time on the other side of the world there. Cool. Oh, a Kingmaker campaign. See, I've always wanted to play one of those. I like that idea of having a higher level one. Okay, so let's talk about what these things mean right here. What's a strategic, operational, and tactical? So strategic is the big picture, right? It is the overarching goal of your campaign. It's what everything is tied into. Oh man, hold on. I have way too many windows open, folks, and I'm losing all of my stuff. Okay. So that strategic is like the overarching central focus. Something like end the blight. You want to save the kingdom. And the tactical goal is something that's much smaller. Tactical is minute to minute, dungeon room to dungeon room. And I think a lot of people instinctively understand that the combat pillar of the game is what uses tactics, or minis on a grid as really tactical play. But for the sake of this, we're going to expand that definition to include a whole scope of other short-term objectives, things that have some immediacy to them. You have to break into the tower. You have to get the princess. You have to, all those things, as well as just slay the orcs in this room. Now, so between the strategic and the tactical is the operational. Operational is like mission scale objectives. Clear out these caves, rally the people of the town. And this is the focus of your adventure. Now, campaigns are lots of adventures strung together. So operational is kind of distinct from tactical. And I think that the way I'm going to define it is you can rest without changing your operational mission. I don't think you can rest in between trying to achieve a tactical goal. And I think this is different than a strategic. You can tell your operational goals that characters can undertake several different operational scale objectives without changing the overall strategic focus. Ooh. Okay, let me check in on chat real fast. All right. Cool. I like the way that makes sense to say it. Awesome. Okay. So those are our 3 different levels. And now what are our 3 objectives that we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about people, places, and goals. Now this is pretty straightforward, right? Your people are your NPCs in your world. So you can create your own NPCs, things that are, homebrew to use some character that you like or that you've always wanted to play, or a character from a movie that you really enjoy and you want to have in your game. Or personally, this is one of the things that I really find is useful about published adventures, is I like the NPCs they have in there. They often have little quirks or twists that I would have thought of on my own. They also have interesting backstories or interlinking personalities that I necessarily wouldn't have thought of. And so there's always different people that you can put in. So the other thing about people is published adventures are written not knowing who the protagonists are. And this is a central feature of published adventures, that they do not know who your PCs are. They do not know what your PC's goals are. They don't know what your PC's like or what makes them tick. And so they have to be completely neutral to your characters. And the third element is goals. Now these can be short-term things that your players want, or large character arcs. These can be things like not just what your character wants, but you want to try to achieve in the mission. Like the overarching goal might be, I want to slay all the bands in this kingdom. I want to redeem my father's name. I want to get a new suit of armor. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take goals and people and places that I've homebrewed, or other way around. We're going to go through Descent into Avernus and identify their strategic, operational, and tactical goals for a couple of these chapters. Identify some cool people and places in here. And then we're going to talk about, okay, here are the strategic, operational, tactical objectives for my campaign. Here are some people, places, and goals in my campaign. And we're going to see how we're going to blend those two together. Oh, okay. Critical Role. All right, awesome. So that's a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and give an example of the 3 levels from Critical Role. I'm going to use Season 1 as an example because that's what I am most familiar with. Oh, hold on, everybody, real fast. There we go. I got a lot of crazy feedback there, and I was kind of messing everything up. And let me turn the music back on. Okay, so for Critical Role, let's think about this. I would say let's take the second arc, right? The Kavarn, right? When they go into the Underdark and they're trying to rescue Kima, and then they find out there's this whole Illithid colony run by a beholder. Spoilers in case you haven't watched Season 1. That's what sort of goes on there. So their strategic goal right there is to get their friend Kima back up to the strategic goal is really to rescue the Horn of Orcus once they figure it out, right? To sort of stop this evil thing from happening, right? Kima went down to the Underdark because she heard about this Horn of Orcus that could destroy the whole world. So Vox Machina's strategic goal is to recover the Horn of Orcus. Their operational goal is, okay, first we have to break in and we have to rescue Kima. Then we have to go get into the temple. Then we have to convince some of the Iliads to maybe fight for us. I forget exactly how all of that went. They had to go into the Durgar fortress. They had to locate Kima. Then they had to go locate the Temple of Kavarn, right? So those are 3 different operational goals that they had. And their tactical goals are the ones each along the way. We have to clear out the latrines here. We have to defeat this Durgar king. We have to break in through the top of the pyramid and drop it down on top of the beholder. Those are all immediate short-term tactical goals that they had to accomplish. Ooh, was that a good breakdown? Maybe someone in chat can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down for that. Okay. Cool. All right. So now here we get to the fun part. Yes, exactly, Patty. That's exactly what it is. They're the different fronts. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and go into my stuff right here. So let's hide this image. Oops. And let's bring the book up. And we'll bring our Word doc up. Okay. Here is this. And here is this. Thank you for giving me the thumbs up so I know that I'm actually doing the right thing. Okay. So I'm going to do what all DMs really, really like right now, and I'm going to go ahead and just talk about my campaign for a hot second. So what's going on in my campaign is that there are these big 3 wax seals that this cult is after. And once these cult gets all these 3 wax seals, they're going to put them in some sort of device or machine that's going to break apart the seals and weaken the boundary between life and death. What's actually going to happen, though, is they're going to open up a bunch of portals. I was originally planning a bunch of portals to the Shadowfell opening, but since the Avernus came out, they're going to be portals to the realm of the damned. Now, so the issue is that a person who was once a hero is going to get infatuated with this idea of bringing people back from the dead, and so he is going to go rogue. And so he's going to want these portals to remain open, and the heroes are going to try to keep them closed. He thinks that if they remain open long enough, where the machine will eventually work, and he'll be able to restore life to people that he's lost. Sort of a Mr. Freeze type of villain. So, when these portals open, for my players, the strategic goal is going to be close all portals. The strategic goal for Descent to Avernus is, right, close the 1 portal. Right? That's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying to go down there, figure out a way to stop. I forget, is that what's going on in Avernus? I think it's something like that. Okay, in Avernus, the operational way to get that is, I kind of forget. So let's think of some operational goals when they first get there. They have to escape the city of Urturel, right? That's one of their operational goals, escape the city. So that's not really going to happen in my campaign. This portal is going to open, is going to initially be in the middle of nowhere, right? So this is going to be escape the fallen city. And some like their tactical objectives are going to, is what? Like clear out this temple, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's find some other cool tactical goals that are in here. They want to clear out this temple. Oh, what's this guy's story? I forget. Isn't he like a part zombie or something like that? Offering Gideon increased power. Gideon slowly gave up his sanity. Alright, so that's a cool person actually. This Gideon Lightward. So he's going to go down here in our people. Gideon Lightward. Alright. Cool. So over here, the main focus, I guess, of Avernus is going to be Zariel, right? The angel, the fallen. And here, the sort of equivalent of that is going to be Sir Gladriel. So some other people that are in our campaign are our PCs, right? And what are our PC's goals? So our PC's goals are going to be, when they get down there, they're going to have to find a way to close off portals one by one, right? Close off first portal. They're going to have to race to fight Gladriel. Okay. Awesome. Let me check on chat real fast. Cool. Okay, what's some other stuff that's going on in here? They have a walk of bravery. What's also going on inside of Avernus? That's really cool. Who is Ulnder Ravengard? Isn't he he was a good guy, right? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right. So Ravengard, he is donned a helmet. He's trying to use the helmet to find a connection, right? He's sort of reading. He's put this helmet on that's trying to figure out where this sword is. Okay. So that is an interesting idea. So let's pull up our thing. So we have people. We have Ravengard. And Ravengard's goal is he uses helmet. No, he wants to find sword. Right? Yeah. And so that's sort of an operational goal that we have here too, right? Find sword. And then you have to cross the desert of hell. Okay. So what's some things that I was sort of imagining they're going to be down there, right? So sort of tactical goals, I want them to sort of clear out a devil fortress. I think that'd be really cool. Sort of their operational goals. I'd say I don't really have any of these, right? So I'm just going to probably sort of take one of these. Find the sword. I don't think that really quite fits. Cross the desert of hell. Now that sounds like a great one, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one right over here into mine. So, Ravengard, Gideon Lightward, he is a zombie, right? Awesome. So when my people are in this realm, I'm imagining it sort of like the way... good night, Lucas. I'm going to imagine it sort of like the way that Oblivion works. I'm going to go ahead and think about it like they have to clear out all these different things and sort of like grab the sigils in order to close these portals. And once they're back on this side, okay, here's an interesting difference, is that once they're in Avernus, they're sort of trapped there. They only go in there one time. But mine, they're going to go back and forth. So an operational goal is going to be probably to set up a way to gain passage back. Okay, cool. So here we go. Everyone paying attention now? So way to gain passage back, we're going to use a Raven Guard equivalent, right? Boom. With helmet. Alright, so Raven Guard was a good guy who got sucked in there, and he's got this vision of how to get out, right? And so now, when these portals open in my world, a Raven Guard's going to get sucked in one of them, and he's going to have a vision of how to set up a passage the way back. Awesome. Get free passages. Cool. Alright, what else is cool in Avernus here? Climbing down. Okay, boring stuff. They can escape that city just fine. Oh, here's a nice little diagram. I lost it. How's everyone in chat doing? Has everyone played this game before? This adventure? I really like Fort Knucklebone. I really like the idea of doing Mad Max in hell. But I think some of the stuff is just a little silly. I do not like the little idea of a floating elephant, right? I think that's just ridiculous. I think it's sort of I think that might be a little bit too much. Okay, so one of the people that they meet here is Mad Maggie, right? And she is a hag who runs the boneyard. Okay, and her goal is to delight in the pain of Zerial. She has like a fetish, right? Of the story of her. She's like, she stands hard for Zerial. She just wants to know everything there is about that angel. All right. And that's connected to a tactical goal of acquiring Infernal Machine. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying. I haven't really read the adventure all the way across. And that's to cross the desert of hell, right? So I like the idea of having a Mad Maggie character, right? Actually, no. Instead of Mad Maggie, we're going to have a fiend. We're going to have a hag, another type of hag. Because one of the goals of my players is to confront a coven of hags that killed her sister. Okay. See, now we're making progress here. Okay. So this hag is going to be a rival of the Coven of Hags. Of the Oogle sisters. Ugoyle sisters. Okay. So now they have a bargaining chip, right? That this hag wants dirt on my players' rivals. And so now they have a bargaining chip when they get down there to maybe get an Infernal War Machine. And I still like the idea of crossing the Hellscape at least once. Okay, cool. Oh, Lucas. I'm glad you like Sword and Sorcery. You're probably already asleep. Modeling pieces of homebrew. Yeah, it's the same thing as I'm doing. Okay, let's go through here. Oh my gosh, this art is incredible. I love it. Okay, warlords. All right, so here's some cool people, right? Who is Prince Krovek? He's got an awesome piece of art, that's for sure. He's a chain devil that commanded the Nine Hells 8th Infantry Legion Terror incarnate, and they were crushed on the banks of the river Styx. Ooh. His goal is to get enough strength and war machines to drive the demons back. Well, I think having a Chain Devil commander is cool. So let me go ahead and pull up my thing again. Okay. Chain Devil commander. And what he wants to do is drive back. This is again a really messy sheet. This is not the best. Sorry, folks. He wants to drive back demons. All right, so that's not going to work in my game though, because there's only like one realm of the damned that they're going to be. There's not this. It's not the same story that they're telling here. So I select that Chain Devil commander, and he doesn't really have any big ties to these overall plans, right? He's just one of these things that they come across trying to cross the desert. So maybe he's going to be the one in charge of the Devil Fortress, right? Yep. The 8th Infernal Legion commands the fortress. Cool. Yeah. What do I think about humans? Not a whole lot. I run a very human-centric campaign. That is to say that if you are not a human, you're like pretty much like an alien, right? I really try to emphasize the difference between humans and like every other species, right? That I try to, this doesn't always work, of course, but I would try to encourage players that if you're going to play a race or an ancestry other than human, that you really try to think about what that means, right? Like, what does it mean to live for 1,000 years as an elf? What does it mean to be practically immortal? So to really live up to their tropes and think about elvish society. Anyway, got distracted. Okay. The quest for the sword. See, I don't really like that, right? I might use that and I might not. The Tower of Erm. Okay, we're gonna have to check that out. What's the Tower of Erm? That sounds so cool. Erm. Nope, they don't have it. Tragic. Okay. Okay, cool. What are the bone brambles? Oh, this seems to be just like something they can cross. Okay. So this is sort of a tactical objective. The bone brambles. So that's sort of a place. The bone brambles. I'm going to put that in mind too. And the goal is just to cross it, right? And so, in order to make this cool for my players, we actually have something in there that they really, really want. A banshee. So, let's use a goal from one of my players that could be inside these bone brambles. Sort of a goal for one of my players. See what else do they want to do? I know one of them wants to find out how to read. That's not going to be in the bone brambles. Another one of my characters wants to get redeemed from their past. Another one of my players, what they want is let me think about this. What does Effie want? What Effie really wants is to learn more about the fall of the Tezek. So, in my campaign setting, all the wood elves have gone extinct. That was the story of my last campaign. And in this campaign, I have a whole bunch of new players, and they keep hearing little bits and rumors about this huge blighted wasteland on the edge of the world, and a lost race of elves that might have once lived there. It's a big mystery because no one will ever talk about what happened. So she really wants to find out about this. So we can find there can be a piece of the fall of the Tezek that'll be buried in the boneyard. Cool. So they can acquire the Egg of Time book. This is a book that describes a little bit of the ancient ritual that eventually led to the Tezek's doom. Cool. So, what else is going on in Avernus? Arkan's Tower. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So I'm not going to use any of this, but I think this is a really great example of what I'm talking about here, right? So we have the people. We have Arkan the Cruel, right? The Cruel. And Arkan the Cruel has sort of a strategic goal of his own, right? He wants to use the hand to help Tiamat. And his operational goal is to use the PCs to get it. That's actually probably more of a tactical goal, right? He tries it one more time, right? He uses the PCs to get info. Okay. So I like that idea of having a devil. So we'll have Arkan the Dragonborn. He's going to be the last from Zir. During that massive apocalypse I just told you about, that how a whole bunch of one race got completely destroyed. On the other side of the world, the Dragonborn, they knew this was going to happen. And so in response to the blight spreading, they broke off from the continent and sort of floated off. And so now everyone in the current timeline sort of thinks that Dragonborn is just this myth, right? That's kind of completely ridiculous that there are two-legged dragons walking around, because no one's seen them for a couple hundred years. Let me check in on chat real fast. Awesome. People are watching, but no one's really saying anything. So I guess this means I'm doing a good job. No one's asking too many questions. So, what would the last dragon from Zir want? They would want to get back. Awesome. Cool. So, Arkan the Cruel Dragonborn. He's going to be a bad guy, right? But they're going to feel sorry for him because he's sort of lost out here in space, pretty much. He's lost in hell. Wants to get home. That's going to be his goal. Cool. Cool. And that's going to be some interesting roleplay, right? Because he's going to probably do some kind of nasty things to get there. Awesome. What other cool stuff is in here? Bell's Forage. Role-playing Bell. So this is what I like. I like when they give you a bad guy. They give you a character, and they tell you how to roleplay it, right? Bell and Zariel loathe each other. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So I'm not just running Descent into Avernus, right? I'm running this other adventure. It's probably worthy of its own video because how much I love it, called Ghost of Dragonspire Castle. It's a very rare adventure. It was only available at Gen Con for the D&D Next playtest. And I just love this one. Probably, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably my favorite published adventure. But in there's a Rakshasa who hates the main hero. And I think that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to have Bell. Yeah, the Rakshasa is going to be in hell. That makes sense, right? The Rakshasa. Faurine. I forget her real name, but the Rakshasa impersonated somebody called Maureen. And so then they met the real Maureen, so now they have Maureen, and they know there's imposters. They call her Faurine. I forget the Rakshasa's real name. Rakshasa, their goal is to corrupt Sir Gladriel. Okay, so I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about this. So I think I want to have Bell, and maybe... I'm going to spend some time thinking about this. Let's read a little bit what Bell's going on. Bell wants the characters to retrieve 9 antimandrite rods that are stolen to Forge Zero spies. What? And once he gets those rods back, he's willing to divulge the Bleeding Citadel. Okay. Cool. So that goal, that's sort of a tactical development, right? No, it's sort of an operational. Collect the rods. Collect the rods. And that'll help in their strategic goal of closing all the portals. See, I'm not really sure how I like... I'm not really sure how I like that. That might be... I'm going to keep that, but not make it something they have to do to get to this next step. I like sort of open-ended fetch me quests. Things for the characters to look out on. I hate short-term fetch me quests. Like, go here, get me this, bring it back. I feel like that's kind of... I think that's kind of cheap. I don't like pure MacGuffins, right? Okay. Oh, man, but having a pit fiend is just too cool. Ugh, man, all that coughing just made me really lightheaded, folks. How's chat doing? I still keep the idea that devils and demons are separate entities and that they're lawful and chaotic. I've never really done a whole lot of planescaping, so I imagine that I would still have the Abyss versus the Hells. But just for my own writing purposes, I really can't use the 9 Hells, right? Because, eventually I'm publishing a book, and so everything that's going to be in the book has to be OGL legal. And so I can't use the 9 Hells because that's sort of a Wizards of the Coast IP thing. So I'm just getting into the habit of using my own names for stuff. So instead of the Abyss, I'd call it, I don't know, figure it out. The Realm of something. Yeah, I don't have the Blood War as like a central theme, right? And this is sort of the thing that where I'm just sort of ripping little things from Avernus because I don't have that, oh my gosh, this demon's constantly pouring out of the river Styx. This sort of forms a major backdrop to Avernus. So we're not really going to spend all that much time there. Again, sorry about the coughing. Okay, no, but I like the idea of having Pit Devil is underling of Bell, the Pit Fiend. Fiend. Cool. Because Bell is actually a pretty nifty character. I like the idea of having something that can completely just mess the characters up, just sitting there for them to taunt them. Alright. I need some more cool places. I'm just going to scroll through until I see a map. There's the Bleeding Citadel maps, right? Oh, the market. I'm not really sure I like that or not. Chapter 4, Sword of Zerial. I'm not doing the whole Reclaiming Memories thing. You know what? I might do that. I might have one. That's sort of an interesting idea of Reclaiming Memories. Let's do that one time, right? One goal is going to be Reclaim Memories. Okay, and have to reclaim these memories in order to do what? Probably accept this passage. Okay, cool. The Hag's Lair. Ooh. I'm probably going to use the whole Blood Citadel. Just because, look at this art. Like, look at these, oh, man. It's just too cool not to use, Alright. Making the deal. Alright, so you know what? I think we're kind of at the end of the major part of this book, right? And then just after this, it just goes back to what's up in Baldur's Gate. Okay. Awesome. But I think I gave a pretty good idea of how I'm breaking these things off and identifying the people, places, and goals and how we're going to mix them and match them. I hope this was a pretty helpful stream. Don't skip the Ciberex. Oh, okay. You know what? I will not skip the Ciberex. I'll go back there and look through it and tell you what I think on Twitter tomorrow. Alright, so I hope this was a pretty useful stream, everybody. I hope you got some interesting ideas out of it. And this is going to be up for a long time, so as always, let me know what you think in the comments below.